Hello, my friends. Happy Feral Monday. So I had a request to do a look. I'm going to get the screenshot. Now, I don't know who the artist is. And if any of you recognize what I'm about to show you and you know the artist, please let me know. All I have is a screenshot that one of you sent me. I'm not going to do the full gold lip. You'll see. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to teach you how to do the eye. It's a very graphic eye, and it's actually not going to be that difficult, but it's also, once you see it, you're going to be like, oh, it's Feral Monday. So this is a screenshot that one of you sent me. Isn't this going to be fun? It's going to be so much fun. And what's not scary is you see this precision? If you do the precision before you start to layer, so easy. Makeup is about knowing how and when to clean. It really is. If somebody would have told me that, you know what the first thing I would have done? I would have went ahead and grabbed all of these pretty shades. I would have got them on my eye. Then I would have tried to go over top of them. And guess what? Liquid liner like this, it's not going to win when it comes to shimmer. Shimmer will always win. Remember that. So let's get into this. And again, if you know the artist, please let me know so I can tag them and credit them. It's Feral Monday. Let's go. Now, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to grab, you can even do concealer, but listen. If I put concealer from here to my fold, I'm gonna have body heat and I'm gonna have friction. And concealer, it doesn't always want to participate in that much friction because our eyes there's a high friction area. So that being said, if you want to use your concealer from the fold up. I'm still going to use a liquid eyeshadow because this one matches me, but the reason I'm mentioning concealer is because it's a perfect match for us usually. So if you want to use a liquid eyeshadow or you want to use concealer, you can, but I don't recommend concealer from here to about there. So all I'm doing is taking the side of my E29 and I'm just smoothing that out because we're going to have to do some lines, and we're going to most certainly, even where I'm at in my makeup journey where I do my makeup 2-3 times a day, there will be some mess ups, and I want you to remember that too. But if we don't have anything on our lid, we can clean this up. What we're about to do is so easy. We're just going to need some micellar water and a C30, but let's also wait for this to completely dry down. And if you're using concealer, I would lightly set it because the liners I'm going to use, I know that they aren't going to mix and bleed, but maybe the ones you have might have the possibility. So it would be really great if we just let this dry or you lightly set your concealer. So this is the part where we queue up our micellar water. This has been one of my favorites now for a while. I got this off of Amazon and I just refill this bottle. So I have a different bottle with a squeeze top, but I love this, especially for all the intricacy that I do. So we're going to need that, and then we're going to need a C30, and these are on sale for only $10 right now, so that's absolutely wild. So we got our little tools here prepared and queued up. If I want precision, okay, and I want steady hand, I'm going to grab an E26 and I'm going to grab gel liner. I'm going to use MAC gel liner today. I'm kind of going back and figuring out what gel liner is my favorite because I'm back in my gel liner era. I forget. It's nothing quite like it. You're about to see. So it's important to watch how I'm loading up the brush. These are things I wish somebody would have showed me, okay? I'm like fully saturating it, right? But you see that? We can't go right in. So what I'll do, and the reason why is because it's uneven on the brush. And even when it comes to something this small, product needs to be evened out. It has to be. So what I'll do is I'll take it on the back of my hand, okay? See how it's bent? I kind of go on that bent side first, and then I twirl the brush. Let's give it a nice little twirly twirl. I can come back to that. That's not wasted. Now it's even, and I'm gonna hype this little brush up for just 1 second before we get started. When I first started makeup, I started doing liner with an angled brush like this. And you know what? I got really good at wing liner. I would use gel and I would use a brush shaped like this. Now, that being said, I took the angled brush. Of course, it's not new, but I gave it kind of a few tweaks that I wanted from a brush that I felt could even enhance and help me more. So if you ever looked at an angled brush and thought, that's complicated. It's easier. I promise you it's easier. This is how I learned to do liner. I couldn't do it with just a pen at first. It was so hard. But the way that you have control with the brush and then this bent edge, try it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna relax. I know, sounds scary, right? We're just gonna start to map this out. Don't be frightened. But also notice how I'm going out of the fold. If I was to put this in the fold, you wouldn't even be able to see it. And that's something I couldn't understand. I'm gonna grab from the back of my hand again. See that? If it will mess up, doesn't matter. But also, look at how we're able to get this shape so easily. And that's because this brush is bent and it's the perfect amount of density. I used to find that the brushes would flop too much. And I wanted one that was thin, but if you have it too thin, then it doesn't want to glide. And it's better as a lip brush. Okay, we got our initial shape. There it is. There's our initial shape. Easy. Now we're gonna start building on it, and it looks like it's kind of around here. I can't really figure out how I want the shape exactly, but I know it does kind of one of these. Again, look how messy I'm being. Because I've got tricks. There's tricks up my sleeve. And then I know that it's gonna connect later, but let's not connect it yet. That way we can really get it nice and precise and add all the color and then kind of capture the color again in a minute. So in this small area, you'll be able to go right in because we can clean up the shadow with the micellar water and then we can go back in with the black. So it's not scary at all. All right, so let's just do this. We can even sharpen in there later. We are in such a fun, easy state right now, but let's go ahead and layer this up. Now, it's easier to work on the top part to get that one more precise. And by the top, I mean up here, not, I know it looks like we are not on the right track. Actually, to me, it looks really cool. But it looks like we're not on the right track, but I assure you that we are. Because micellar water is gonna come in here and change everything. You relax. See how I wasn't relaxed? I even do that sometimes. Worry about the top. Don't really worry, but think about the top part more than you think about the bottom part. But the top part is actually easier to keep straight and even and tidy. So another thing I want you to be mindful of is holding the brush a little farther back. It might feel a little foreign, but if you've ever seen calligraphy, you'll see that when you hold something further back, you just get a really nice flow. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to hold the brush further back. It might take you a second to get used to it, but that's one of the reasons I designed the brushes to be so long, for that kind of flow and stroke, because it becomes so much easier than having to continue to kind of just get up here and just kind of go back and forth like that. Now we can still go back and forth and kind of tidy and push it up and correct, but holding it back is still going to give you such an even, consistent application. We look horrible, right? Uneven, horrendous. Just call it a day. No. Now comes the really fun part. Micellar water, C30. Let's start to tidy. Now we are gonna need Sheila. Sheila, where are you? Look at that already. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But we need Sheila to wipe off excess. Whoa, Sheila was in my lap. Usually she's ran away. Okay, and I do pinch the brush every time just to make sure it stays nice and sharp. And we can get this line so thin. Yeah. That's actually what goes on in my head. I love makeup so much. I just love it so much. It's so much fun. It's just like painting to me. Now we can just take it under here. I'm still gonna tidy more, but I'm letting y'all just kind of get a feel for it. Tidy there. Oh, look at that. It just instantly, it's just the tiniest little things. And then I'm going to clean that up. And then we can clean up in here some more too. And if you take too much away, just grab your liner and your E26 and put it back. But also do this into a mirror. Don't do it into your phone. You know what? Hers looks a little bit more squared here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kind of fill this in. And then I'm gonna take this top part down a little bit. Don't even worry about it. What I'm saying is to not worry about is the eyeshadow. You can put it back. There we go. So we'll kind of take that in a little bit more. Now I'm going to give us a little bit more of a beak, and then I'm going to go take a little cereal break and I'll be back. And we're going to fill in all of that. Are you ready? Are you excited? Ooh, hold that further back. See, even I sometimes do it. And we'll be able to get more of a square shape once we get our eyeshadow on. I'm so excited. Okay, but listen, I need some multigrain Cheerios. So I think this Gourmand Girls Ethereal palette is going to be perfect. So this, I've obviously that on the inner corner. Then we're gonna mix these two for the center. It's gonna be pretty perfect. Now it doesn't have to be spot on, but if we mix those, we're definitely gonna get a similar shade to the center. And then we're gonna finish off with this color. So these are all going to be very pigmented, especially if and what I mean by pigmented, they're gonna have base underneath them. So I'm not going to have to worry about, see how pigmented that is, how you can't see my skin through it. So I don't really have to worry about doing a base that is going to kind of cancel out my skin tone. You're not going to be able to see my skin tone through this level of pigment. That all being said, why I'm saying that is because I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to go ahead and use this as our base. Now, I always have to show you the boring details because they make such a difference later. I'm going to take a C31, and what you're seeing me do is even this out, because if I just leave that on there, I could be dealing with all sorts of horrible wear time, lumpiness, chaos. This palette is gorgeous. I'm going to grab that shade. Okay, we're going to get Emerge, and we're going to apply this with the C30, and the reason why, it's going to act like our fingertip. And it's going to just press it on there. But then we're also going to have really nice precision to not cover the black. Oh yeah. I think I'm going to use this one, Lucent, later on my inner corner just to brighten. So I'm going to leave a little hair of space there, you see. But let's keep loading this shade up. And generally it's easier to start with your lightest shade, and the gold is going to be our lightest shade here. And just get that really close to the black, even if you have to pick up the shadow right on the tip of the brush. And bring it to about right there and then look at how much it makes that black line pop. Now I do apologize, but my captions aren't wanting to load. Sometimes IG just pulls glitches, and I feel terrible because I know that I have some hearing impaired friends here. So I'm gonna try to keep refreshing and restart my phone and do everything, but sometimes it's the app, and I always try to be diligent with that. So I do apologize. I broke one of my makeup cardinal rules. I got excited with how pretty the gold was, but I caught myself. And because the shimmer is going to be so intense, we need to leave space for the liner. And the liner is actually what's going to box this in even more. But just leave a little space. And the reason why is I kind of told you earlier, but let me remind you. Say we're out here and we're in a little disagreement. Let me tell you who's going to win that disagreement. Shimmer. Okay? Matte, shimmer. Shimmer's going to win. It could paper, rock, scissors, shimmer, matte. Shimmer wins over all of it. Shimmer is just going to win. Oh, we're having fun. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay down this shade as the base. And the reason why is because this one is gonna have a little bit more of a base to it. And then we can top it with that one to kind of shift it to the color in the picture. So let's lay that down, melt it into, ooh, I'm getting too excited with these shimmers. Gotta leave space. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm just getting too excited. Bring it all the way up. And once you get the shadow on, it not only kind of enhances that line, but it makes it less scary. And then you're like, okay, it's all coming together. This is all making sense. Perfect. Okay, wipe this off. Oh, Sheila, there you are. And then we're gonna go into Nova, which is this pretty pinky blue flip. Yay, captions are back. Okay, I was going into Nova. And then that's gonna start to go on top and give it a little bit more blue than the green. There it goes. So metallic. Now it's time for the blue. I'm so glad I didn't have to palette hop for this. Thought I was gonna have to, but I had everything. Now I know my middle color here is a little off, but we're okay. I would have had to palette hop and mix so much to get that color. But that's pretty spot on right there. Now we're gonna take our brush, our C30 again, and we're gonna tidy this up. Easy peasy. Start from the front, we're back with our E26 and our gel liner. Connect it there. There's that more square shape. See how much easier that glides over the negative space there. Pick up more. And connect. We're almost done. Now remember this shade that we talked about? I'm gonna grab a little bit of that on an E26. This is a clean E26. And then I'm just gonna place that right in there. Now you can take your concealer. And I'm actually using a pot concealer, but I did do a video on how to make your own pot concealer. If you wanna check reels, just check a few posts back. And I'm gonna clean up there. And then remember, I was gonna grab my eyeshadow, but I already had this out. But again, we talked about this earlier, how this is a low friction area. So if you did want to clean up through here with concealer, you absolutely can. Let's just do a half lash. These are the Lily Lashes self-adhesive. This is a style I haven't worn. This is Starcatcher. Oh, they already grab, and oh, I love these lashes so much. Well, I should say the self-adhesive. Delightful. I wanted something that would just give a little floof out here, but not obviously cover up all of that. This CoverGirl foundation is all I reach for now. That's all I reach for. I love it. Love it for the humid climate I live in. I love it for how thin it feels. I love it for exactly what I want out of a foundation. Now I will say this, I can see that when I first put this on, it does look a little terrifying, but once I blend it out in the way that it dries down, it matches my skin tone perfectly. Got the C42 in. So I'm just really excited. I'm gonna wash this off as soon as I'm done because we are filming and taking pictures of a bunch of secret projects actually. So I'm excited. Isn't that funny? The moment I get done with this, I'm gonna wash my face don't ever feel like, oh no, because again, I just love creating. And I'm using my Natasha Denona concealer. I just love creating. It's just like on to the next. Let's do a blue waterline. This is Kiko Milano. I'm trying to find the shade. It is 07. I'm warming it up just a hair on the back of my hand. That always helps with glide. Beautiful. Delightful. I'm so excited. As you can see, this is one of my favorite bronzers, and I always like to alternate my products. I want to go back to this. So M36, which is this one, is just a beautiful red bronzer. I'm actually going to use a little bit darker one. I'm pretty tan. Woo, I'm tan right now. So that one's M42. This is a powder bronzer. The creams are amazing too, but I'm just going to stick to the powder. And again, I'm using the darker one. And then I'm just going to apply this on top of that wet foundation. And I remember years ago we were taught, and I'm talking years, okay, like way before I'm trying to gather my words properly, but before our synthetic bristles really kind of came to this mainstream market. Of course, all of our brushes are synthetics. So the idea of applying this powder directly on this wet foundation was chaos with natural animal hair. So that's why makeup is so fascinating to me, because this is a technique that would have been, I don't want to say wrong, but not productive. I don't want to say anything's wrong. Makeup is art. But years ago, if we'd been using a natural fiber, this could be so patchy and awful. But now that we have the perfect level of synthetic deliciousness, we get a beautiful, even application on top of that wet foundation. And that's one of the things that fascinates me about makeup, is how it can change as makeup science advances. We're having fun. I'm going to use a little bit of this. This is going to be, I have it right there. It's a warmer, but I thought with this eye, just a really warm bronze would be really, really nice. If I was doing my kind of everyday makeup, I probably wouldn't go this warm, but it's more of like a toasty feel to it. So we'll put a little bit of this. The other one's more red, which is what I prefer. But I thought this would be fun just to add a little bit more, not only depth, but the toastiness. And it still has the red to kind of balance it out a little bit as I'm blending it. So it won't be quite as orange on my skin tone with that. Ooh, that's nice though. All right, now let's set. I'm gonna grab my powder here that I'm absolutely loving. I wear neutral peach. Let's go ahead and, I always start with my under eye, and then I'll finish underneath here what I wanna do. Which I'm not sure what I wanna do, but we're gonna go, oh, the powder's good. You wanna know, I'm gonna try to break this down a little bit, why I really like this powder and what could even actually have more of a blurring effect, and that's pigment levels in the powder. And anytime you have more pigment in something, obviously what it's going to do is it's going to cover and it's going to blur. Say that we have pores, this extra, because these powders are actually really pigmented for a loose powder, but that extra pigment gets in there and it hides. So it's not a translucent powder. It's a very pigmented powder. Translucent doesn't really cover, it just sets. And sometimes translucent doesn't work for all skin tones because it can be a little white and can leave a white cast. And I like that this range has colors that wouldn't leave a cast. There's different shades, there's not just one. Now, does it have to match your skin tone perfectly? No, it's not a powder foundation. But that being said, it is going to add a lot of blur to the skin because of that extra pigment in there. Yeah, perfect. So to kind of keep the eye angled up, I'm not going to put anything dark right here. I'm just going to take my liquid shadow from 𝗹𝗂𝘂𝘁. That's canned air that you're hearing because Ben is taking pictures of the secret project. And then I'm just going to take that and keep the eye kind of angled that way. This blush is pretty. This is one of the Kosas blushes, and this is the shade Swoon. Pick it up on a C41. Beautiful. I really love this shade. I want to do a more true nude lip and not do such a dark lip liner. I love my dark lip liner, but I like to switch it up. So let's take, this is one of the new MAC lip liners. This is the shade Beige Turner. And it kind of reminds me of the shade Subculture, but a little darker. Because Subculture doesn't show up on me anymore, so I feel like this is kind of an in-between. So if you have a lighter skin tone than me, I feel like you would really, really, really enjoy this color. But I still like it on my skin tone too. So let's do this Kiko Milano gloss. So pretty. Delightful. I'm gonna leave these glosses out because they remind me of MAC glosses, but some of them are even more pigmented and way more affordable. So I'm gonna leave these over here on my vanity. That is a gorgeous lip. And then you could pair this with any kind of lip liner. Here's what it looks like without lip liner, just so you can see it. There it is without the lip liner. Isn't that pretty? I'm gonna apply a little extra mascara. I've been using this Give Beauty one, and I really, really like the formula, but I really like, see how it's got that little ball on the end of it? Just to kind of grab my bottom lashes. I love it. I've used it before, and I really liked it then, but I just got a fresh one, so I switched to it. It's good. I love doing graphic makeup like this. I feel like in 2020, 2021, I was doing so many graphic looks. It was nonstop. I love it. I love harsh lines. I just think they're so much fun on the eye. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. I really do. This was request, so I do take requests. Now, do keep in mind I get a lot of requests, so I try to do as many as I can in between the little ideas that pop in my head that I want to show you. So I try my best, but this was such a good request, and I hope that you found it helpful. Man, it's really about just knowing how to fix it. Because even where I'm at in my makeup journey, like I said, to put down that shadow and then try to go over with the black, we don't want to work hard. We want to work smart. I love you all so much. I'm definitely going to post tonight, and I'm so excited. I'm just going to set a reminder. I'm not sure what I'm posting, but it'll be at 7 p.m. Central. So be there, or be square. Love you. Update. Y'all found the artist. I'm acting like it's Unsolved Mysteries. This is Shauna. I hope I'm saying that right. But she's talented. She's wonderful. So make sure that you follow her. I'm just going to tag her right here. So this look was inspired by her. I'm so glad y'all helped me find her. And now I have a new friend.